welcome to Misery Zone. My name's Kurt Burdick, maker of Death of Power. And this is a test copy that I just got in. And I'm going to be looking over that momentarily to make sure like everything came out the way I hope it came out. Today I'm going to be looking at Volume 4 of hashtag DRCL, which I believe the hashtag actually stands for count. I think like in Japan they call this a count symbol, but I'm assuming that, but that is how I've made sense of what this title means. I think this title is supposed to mean, or is supposed to be interpreted as Count Dracula and Midnight Children. And again, you know, it continues in its turning all the characters of Bram Stoker's Dracula into anime like Harry Potter school, boarding school students in Victorian England. So that's cool, I guess. Yeah, I am very excited about what Shin'ichi Sakamoto is doing and the techniques he's using for within manga. It's very exciting and very innovative, and I really highly recommend this book. It's beautiful, very well done, and again, his process is very unusual because he's uses digital programs. He does this all with digital inks using I think something something similar to Clip Studio. And Clip Studio is a digital. Fuck! I just remembered something. Well, okay, let me finish. All right, let me clear this up. Clip Studio is a digital illustration program that you can use on your desktop or tablet. It's similar to Photoshop. So Photoshop is the primary tool, like digital software that a lot of people use. I use it. And Clip Studio is a competitor. I think there is a stupid fucking like a sale going on for Clip Studio, which I forgot about. I hope it's still going on. So I'm gonna go check. Maybe I'll check right now. So let me just. Well, I looked into it and I missed the sale for Clip Studio. It was like $20 for the Pro version. Yeah, I don't know. I might try that Pro version, and that is a perpetual license, so you won't be on a subscription service. And I have heard really good things. So Clip Studio was originally called Manga Studio. And I do have an old version of Manga Studio. A lot of webtoons are done within Clip Studio. A lot of manga artists use Clip Studio. And I believe Shin'ichi Sakamoto uses it. But that's just a guess. There might be another program out there that he uses. And you know, that's just a guess, but anyways, let's take a look at some of this stuff. So, this volume of Count Dracula, Midnight Children, Volume 4, is telling the story of Jonathan Harker, which is the primary story in Bram. Well, it's where Bram Stoker's Dracula begins, is with Mr. Harker. I don't drink wine. Jesus. Yeah. So he's going on a trip to Dracula. That's where this volume begins. So this is, a kind of, it's a flashback episode where it goes back to the beginning of of this story to give some backstory on Dracula and also Jonathan Harker, because Jonathan Harker in this one is best friends with Wilhelmina Murray. So it's interesting. He's combining and changing and transforming these characters into something new, which makes it's one of the reasons I think this manga really works for me, is because even though it's being inspired by a very well-known novel and story, he changes it enough to where it's new. It's a new story, and you don't know what exactly is going to happen to the characters. And I think that is a very smart way of doing an adaptation, a manga adaptation of a well-known novel or story. So yeah, in this, Jonathan Harker is paralyzed from the waist down, and even though he's paralyzed during the Industrial Revolution, he still has the courage to travel to Turkey through Germany from England to do this job that his principal of the school designated him to do. I think that makes that already that setup of just having him be paralyzed but still courageous enough to go out into the world when at a time when the world was not set up in any way to support you. It shows a lot. It already provides a lot of backstory, character, and strength to internal strength of this character, Jonathan Harker. Okay, so this is 3 May, Bitstritz, left Munich. So this is his notebook. Left Munich at 8:35 p.m. on 1st of May. Budapest. Safe travels, young heir. This is so creepy. This so beautiful. This spirit, and I think this is. It almost feels like it's Mina. Wilhelmina, the main character, more or less the main character of this manga. So, but it's it's so it's such an apparition. It's such a cool rendition of an apparition. Should have arrived at 6:46, but the train was an hour late. I found my smattering of German very useful here. along with the headmaster's letter for the railway company. Danke-chan. So yeah, he's just traveling through Germany, and these people complain about him. Basically because someone who's crippled shouldn't be, traveling. Such a nuisance, yeah? Why is one without use of his legs fool enough to travel? We are occupied enough dealing with delays without an invalid to cater to. So it's really showing how, prejudice and unwelcoming and, difficult like society was at that. And this character is still courageous enough to brave that for his own reasons. And that's a really nice illustration here. And I do like this little Gaussian blur that seems to be put on these foreground characters. Creates a very ghostly image. And this I really love. This next sequence right here, I think is excellent. And this is one of the reasons I'm so excited about Shinichi Sakamoto's manga. Because it communicates like what this character, Jonathan Harker, who is paralyzed, what someone who is paralyzed, what it feels like when they are traveling out into the world on their own. So this one, it's a little extreme close-up of his face, of his legs, him pushing himself up. And then what would that feel like to somebody who was, what would be the equivalent of someone who's not paralyzed? What would be the sensation, the feeling of what this character who is paralyzed feeling if they tried to get out of their wheelchair by themselves in a foreign land? It would feel like you're about to fall. You're as if you were standing on the edge of a tall building. And I just think that is just such a brilliant visual description of what this character is going through. Like it really connected to me of what this character, his version of Jonathan Harker, must be feeling like as he's traveling through these foreign lands. And this feels a little too digital to me. And again, like all the imagery here is done digitally, not with it's still drawn, it's still manipulated by hand, but so this feels very almost like a leveled out photograph, or maybe a traced photograph, or maybe this might be some digital brushes thrown in there too. But one thing that I think is interesting with his digital work, his digital illustration, is I don't feel like, again, his expression and figure drawing and his staging and sequentials are just so beautiful and so impressive. This is done in something equivalent to Clip Studio, and there does seem to be like certain elements that might either be heavily rendered from photo reference or straight up, 3D models that he is using. But nothing, even the stuff that does bug me, like this does bug me. And this, kind of pulls me out of the story. But I don't feel like he's using these tools for shortcuts. Like he's using these tools to tell his story, to make his art. And I think that is a different, it's something to consider. Like using, digital tools as passionately as someone who uses pen and ink is something to be admired. And I think that's how I interpret what Shinichi Sakamoto is doing. But who knows? Maybe he's like, haha, I'm getting this done fast because it's all I'm making shit up, I'm clicking the button and it's making art. I don't think so though. That's not, you don't, this is so well crafted and so intentional. And there's some sequences in here that are very, very creepy and beautiful. And then this is, again, one of a great sequence. Equivalent to anything that was in the new film Nosferatu by Robert Eggers. Okay, so let's read this. This is a country ravaged by the invasions of hostile neighbors. When all men were conscripted for war, many forsook the cause, choosing instead to wander as vagrants, leaving behind ruined fields and desolate villages. Those who remained struggled even to feed themselves. And then it's this image of a baby breastfeeding. So this little story is dealing with an episode that happens in Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's kind of the backstory to it. Well, Sophia, does your milk flow? What a great conversation. Jesus. Yeah, Dad. Fuck off. Oh, it's a father-in-law. Yes, father-in-law. There is much for the baby. So I thank you for sharing what little food we have with me. This beautifully drawn baby. Just really beautiful images. And, like the fine details are just so wonderful in Shinichi Sakamoto's art. We are done. A full belly has put Marius to sleep. Ah, Marius, my dear grandson, I pray my son returns from battle to give you a father's embrace once more. I just love the emotion in that face. So wonderful. The youth are all sent to war, and you are the only babe in this village, Marius. Children hold our hopes, and it is our duty to protect them dearly. Oh no, the sun sets. Nasun dorma, none shall sleep. So I don't know if that's something they hear in their... I think that's like something they hear in their soul or in their mind. Or it's just there to create the tension. Hurry, hurry, and shut fast the door. I have, and I've placed garlic at the door and windows to ward away evil. Good, Sophia. Keep the crucifix at your breast, and hold it close when you sleep.
And do not open the door this night. Not to any who might knock. These are the laws of our village. So they're preparing for something, or something that is very common. So, very beautiful tree there. Creepy image. Nasun dorma, none shall sleep. Meh. That hatching I love on this nose. The way he draws noses and kind of wraps around form. Really, really cool. Nasun dorma, none shall sleep. Does the baby hunger? Drink your fill, Marius. Yeah, easy for you to say. To poor, O Principessa. Even you, O princess. Beautiful yawn. That's a really great expression while she's breastfeeding her child. This is in the way when he feeds. So just for a moment, Sochi takes off the cross that the old man, her father-in-law, told her to keep on. But it's getting in the way. As you can see here, it's with it's annoying her while she's breastfeeding, so she takes it off. Nulla tu fredda stanza. In your cold room. But look at that beautiful tension in her eyes and that rendering and that slight blur at certain points. It's just gorgeous. We are hungry. Il nome mio non saprà. My name no one shall know. Il mio mistro è chiuso in me. My secret is hidden within me. Ooh, creepy. Let us in. Really great expressions here on this baby. I love how he's rendering the folds in his brow and the shock of that one eye. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the kid looks like he's still... I don't think the kid's drinking anymore, but it'd be kind of funny if it was. It was just like, shut up! Shut up, you vampires! I'm eating! Alright, I know not where you come from, orphan, but we have nary a crust of bread to offer. To the next village with you! So she's like thinking these are orphans, wandering orphans in Eastern Europe. I guess that's a common thing. Looking for food. We are hungry. Let us in. No. Be quiet. My Marius will starve should you take our bread. And I will be thrown from the house to wander lost on the road. Okay, I love this image of her just putting her foot on the door to stop these people from coming in, whoever they are. No. That's that. Saying no. Zulia tu boca lo dirò. On your mouth, I will tell it. Creepy. Oof. Curse the war if you must. Charity is a pastime of the rich. Look how broken that expression is. And again, however they're doing it with that subtle fade, that blurriness, and I believe that's a Gaussian. So a Gaussian blur. A Gaussian blur is a tool in on digital software that slightly you can control how much you blur certain elements of an image. So the hand is like creeping in, getting in. It starts. Those fingers start to inflame, emoliate. The hand comes through. Look how great that hand is. So cool. Cuando la luz se spenderà. When the light shines. Ed il mio bacio scoglierà il silenzio. And my kiss will dissolve the silence. Oh, I love how that hand comes out right here. And I love his illustration of these flames. That looks just great. The flames around the hand and him grabbing the throat of this poor woman. And that expression of fear and shock on her face. And that rendering, I just love. He's so good with expression and lighting. And his other novel or manga, Innocent, is fantastic. It has the same quality to it. Che ti fa mia. That makes you mine. Look how creepy those eyes are. Oh, so good. As his hand burns. Woman, undo the ward on this door and beckon us in willingly. For before our arm burns to ash, your neck we shall break. Ugh, Jesus. You're not nice. All right, need to hide that. So the father-in-law sees a little flame, like behind this, like sleeping curtain. Like this curtain. There's like breaking the space up, so you can get some sleep. And Sophia, still feeding Marius, are you? For so long? Again, beautiful acting and expressions, very cinematic. I trust you've not fallen asleep. Marius will catch cold. Pardon me. So he like pushes the divider, this rug divider in their home. And what does he see? And look how shocked he looks. Let's see what he sees. Just so creepy. So I will put this up against anything and any other version of Dracula as a frightening image and a frightening sequence. So her head is aflame, and the flames are just beautifully drawn here. I think it's just fantastic, and it's just such a beautiful image. Still, she could still breastfeed, by the way, if the baby was still there, but there's no baby. So her head's like, look at that. Look how cool this hand is in that rendering. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, Shinichi Sakamoto is still putting in the level of work, like hours of work on the rendering here. So it's not like just because it's digital that he's taking a shortcut. That's not the case, at least not with this book. Give me my child! And she's been turned into a vampire. And look how just gorgeous that monstrous face is. Oh, God. This is where it would be great to actually be able to read it in a magazine form. I think you might be able to get the spread
a little bit flatter so you can see the entirety of that art, because we are missing some of the art in that scene. So, yeah. And there's Dracula himself. One of the versions of Dracula. There are multiple. And there is a lot of very transgressive and challenging imagery in this book. He also builds up a lore specific to this version of Dracula that is unique to Shinichi Sakamoto's interpretation, which again is why it is exciting to read, because you don't know what's going to happen to these characters, and he's changed these characters enough to the point where they're his characters that were inspired by this classic novel, Bram Stoker's Dracula. So again, I highly recommend this series. I highly recommend all work by Shinichi Sakamoto, and I want to do a study of his artwork for sure. I'm going to have to return this to the library, so I probably can't do it from this one, but I have some of his other works. It might be an Innocent that I'll look at. So, anyways, that is the show today. And again, my name's Kurt Burdick, maker of Death Power. And this Kickstarter will be going live July 15th. I'm not sure if this is posted by July 15th or not. And yeah, check out Clip Studio Paint. That is what I believe this manga is done with. It's that or a Photoshop or a combination of the two. Man, who knows? At this point, it could be Krita, which is another. Krita is another digital drawing software, but it is open source and free. So, if you're really tight on money, or if you're younger and you don't have a lot of funds to use, check out Krita and get like an inexpensive tablet that you can hook up to your computer and see if you can use that.